Listen up, you blundering fools. It's time for the Cracktastic Plastic Podcast. Get all the toy talk your evil heart could desire from these nincompoops. Jason and Elgin.
Yo, toys, and welcome to the Cracktastic Plastic Podcast, where friends get together to talk about one of our shared loves,
chicken and waffles,
and toy collecting.
Oh,
We're here
yeah.
to celebrate how these little colorful pieces of plastic can transform you into a little kid again. If this is your first time listening to us or watching us live on YouTube every Monday night, we're back. Every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. First of all, thank you so much for tuning in, and happy Memorial Day to you. Thanks for joining us on this holiday. That's very awesome. You're going to learn soon enough, though. We are not toy experts, at least the top row here on the video. I'll tell you that. But we're just toy enthusiasts, so we're not going to get all the details right. And that's okay, because we're all just friends here.
Yeah. And before we jump into today's episode, we've got something exciting to tell you about. It's our Patreon and YouTube community, The Core. When you enlist in The Core, that's the Cracktastic organization of retro plastic specialists, you unlock a treasure trove of exclusive perks made just for hardcore collectors like you. You get bonus episodes, shoutouts, early access, plus an exclusive chat with us and the other Core members. So don't wait. Enlist in The Core today. Just go to enlistinthecore.com to help support the show.
Even the most passionate toy collectors can hit a wall. In this episode, we're asking the big question: can you burn out on toy collecting? And we're not just asking it alone. We're joined by my longtime Transformers friend and fellow collector and core member, Turnip Simmons, the very person who first brought this topic to our attention. When Turnip shared that he was feeling burnout on collecting, it made us stop and think, can this beloved hobby actually start to feel like work? What? From rising prices and storage struggles and to the constraint, to the constant hunt and collector FOMO, we dig into reasons why collecting can sometimes lose its spark. We'll talk about our own experiences, how to deal with burnout, and maybe even how to fall in love with collecting all over again. Whether you're knee-deep in unopened figures or wondering if it's time to take a break, this episode is one you won't want to miss. Welcome to the show, Turnip Simmons. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Jason. Hey, Elgin. Thanks for having me.
Hey, how's it
Well,
going?
welcome to the show, and tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and your toy collection. And collecting.
Yes. So mostly it's been Transformers. I got back into Transformers around 1998 or so, like junior year of high school. So, geez, about 27 years of Transformers collecting continuously. Otherwise, I'm big into, as you can see behind me here, got the Ghostbusters proton packs going on, the power sword there. So I'm big into 3D printing and cosplay and prop building. So that's kind of how I take up my time.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, we're super glad to have you here. When this topic came up, we knew you had to be here. You were the one that planted this little nugget in our brains, and so we're glad that you made it here.
Well, thanks.
And then later in the show, Elgin's going to take us on a tour of a toy store, and that's going to be super fun. You can follow us on all the social media platforms, including Patreon, and those links can all be found at our website, cracktasticplastic.com. And while you're surfing the interwebs, be sure to stop by our sponsor, toyhacks.com, for all your repro label needs. They also have an armory where you can get some toy-accurate 3D printed weaponry and tons of amazing sticker sets for your toys. We also have a monthly contest that Elgin's going to tell you all about.
That's right. Every month, we post something to our social media pages as a contest for you guys to comment, and we'll pick the best comments and give them a $5 coupon to Toy Hacks, so you can go out there and pick up something nice for one of your toys. But of course, you have to comment, and then we have to pick you. And that's kind of how this contest works.
That is it.
Be sure you check it out every day and each of the posts and say, is that it? Is that the post? Is that? It'll show you what you need to do. So just check it out. Every month we'll pick a new winner and give away another $5 coupon to toyhacks.com.
This month's crazy because the
yeah.
image to leave a caption on. I'm surprised there haven't been more wacky, crazy ones.
Exactly.
So I look forward to picking that one. All right, well, let's talk about what toys we picked up lately in a segment we call Thrill of the Hunt.
Listen up, you fools! If anyone knows more about searching for the most unique items in the world, it's me, Cobra Commander! In my reign as Cobra's leader, I have acquired countless items, but those meddling Joes have foiled my attempt at worldwide domination over and over again! But it's the thrill of the hunt that fuels my superb rule of Cobra! Pay attention to my loyal subordinates as they tell you of their latest exploits and acquisitions. It's the thrill of the hunt, Cobra!
That's right. Okay, Elgin, what have you picked up lately, buddy?
Well, I got a few things floating around here in the old cave basement.
Have you named your man cave yet? Have you named it?
I haven't yet.
Subaternia. I don't know.
It should be Subaternia.
The basement. Yep.
Yeah. Anywho, I picked up these on clearance at Walmart. I was, making my way around the clearance aisles as you do, and I found some blind boxes that were for they were selling for $1 each. So of course I had to buy them.
Whatever it is.
You cannot why. Especially because it was Godzilla related.
Oh no!
So they had these Godzilla Monster Island blind boxes there for $1. There were 4 of them. So I'm like, oh, sweet! I'm gonna get all 4 of the figures. Right? That's how that works, right? Blind boxes.
That's what happened.
That's not what happened.
No, of course not.
Well, close. It was close. So of course, I did get a Godzilla, and this was the Godzilla that they had,
dude.
Wow,
from the 60s
for $1.
For $1. He's about yay big, about 4 inches or so. Has kind of limited articulation, much like Godzilla himself. He can just kind of wave, and
hey, buddy,
his feet go up, so he can do like this.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, and I think his head even turns too. So
dude,
there's a little more in his tail. So I mean, a little more than you think, but $1 for it's not too bad of a head sculpt too. I mean, his eyes look kind of wonky, just like they did in the movies.
Yeah, vintage.
Yeah, it's vintage, wonky eyes even. But yeah, not too bad for that. So of course got a Godzilla, so I was happy about that. And then I opened the next one. I was like, oh sweet, Mecha Godzilla.
Oh, nice.
And he's super silvery looking. I used to get like the lights shining off of him so much.
I can hardly see him.
Yeah, that's
badass.
Very cool.
Fucking $1.
Yeah, and the fingers are like really sharp and pointy too. Like they could like launch off missiles at you. But yeah, same kind of articulation. His head kind of turns a little bit, and I guess maybe his tail doesn't turn. His feet kind of go like that, I guess, which is weird. He's like, howdy, partner. And his arms move, of course, but yeah. So I got Mecha Godzilla. He's pretty shiny and silvery.
Awesome.
Looks cool. And then I'm like, okay, open another one. And,
on a hot streak here.
Yeah, well, it's got a Megalon. It looks kind of like a big bug. That kind of space bug, cosmic bug. I think he shoots stuff out of his horn there. But
sounds just like that.
Yeah, but he's got some like kind of yellowish black, kind of bug-like stuff on his back, like pattern. With these like drill hands, I think.
That's cool.
And then I opened the last one, and it was another Godzilla.
Oh
no!
So I gave that to Ethan.
Yeah.
So I'm missing. I don't know what the guy's name is. Like all I can think of is Bakugan, but that's different. It's like Baragon. That's what it is. And And so I'm like, oh, I'll just look up for it on eBay. It's like $20. I'm like,
Yeah, come
I
on.
mean, I bought these for $1 each. I'm not going to buy it for $20. So,
Mm.
but yeah, they're pretty awesome. They're just little kind of
Oh yeah, this will look
fun,
great.
fun
on the
little
shelf.
figures, and they look great. And I already did some TikTok videos with them, so it's already made its money.
Yeah, that's right.
With that. I was up in Ames this last weekend. We went to some graduation parties around Des Moines area, but stayed with my daughter who lives in Ames. Went over to Target and Walmart, of course, the two Walmarts there. And one of the Walmarts, walking down the Hot Wheels aisle, because Ethan was looking for something, and I ended up spying this new Master of the Universe figure car here, which I didn't realize they were even putting out still more Hot Wheels stuff. It's part of their pop culture, the premium Hot Wheels premium series. It's a 66 Dodge A100.
Ooh, that's hot.
So, yeah, I didn't even realize that they were. I haven't seen any of these online with anybody or even putting any of these out. But I'm not going to open this. All my Hot Wheels go up on the wall, so that's why I was going to show this one off. But yeah, it's got some cool artwork on it as well.
I mean, if anything needs to go on the side of the van, it's that artwork.
Yeah,
I know.
That's great.
Like,
but yeah,
I
I was
have a
putting
van.
with the
I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah.
with the rest of my Hot Wheels that all on card, because what else are you gonna do with them but hang them up, I guess. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. It says Destroyer on the back too of the van.
Destroyer.
Yeah, Dodge Destroyer, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, it was part of their premium Hot Wheels premium pop culture series, I guess, that they have out. Had a bunch of different ones from pop culture. Last two things. I've been getting back into Rambo: Force of Freedom.
Yeah.
I got my first two back in '86 when I was a wee lad, 5 years old. And I got two of them for Christmas that year.
Yeah, because what's a 5-year-old appropriate toy?
Yeah, exactly. I got Firepower Rambo and Eddie Turbo Hayes. I got both of them for Christmas that year and opened them up, and it was like the awesomest thing ever, And I still have them, thankfully. And so I'm like, well, I should probably look for some other ones now. It's been almost 40 years. Why not?
Yeah.
And so I've been picking up some that I can find kind of around the $30-ish on eBay. And the first one I got was Nomad, who's part of the bad guy, the Savage group that they call him. So here's Nomad. These
nice
7-inch figures. He's got the kind of turban, very Middle Eastern, stereotypical Middle Eastern, I guess. This was the 80s. But I mean, he's got a nice watch, I guess.
Yeah, it's important to know.
And then his little action feature. Yeah, oops, do that. Push that up. That comes up, and then that's his little weapon there that he can shoot.
His eye gun.
Yeah, I guess shoots with his eye movement or something. I don't really know how that would work.
Super scope.
Yeah, but he does have a little pistol on his belt there and a knife in his
complete.
Yeah, nice. He is technically missing one of these knives, but he would just have to hold it. And I'm like, I don't really care. So it's like, that's fine. But I mean, all the belts and everything, that's kind of where a lot of the stuff is missing. But yeah, it looks pretty clean. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. This is Nomad. It's part of the Savage, the bad guys, basically. But yeah, even has some Arabic on his chest there. I think faux Arabic, maybe. And then recently, I just picked this one up. I came home and I had an email saying that you have a package that was delivered on Saturday. I didn't get home till Sunday. So I get home and I'm like, we left it on your front porch. So I go to my front porch. It's not there. So I'm like, oh, crap. Did it get stolen? Did it happen the same thing like to Jason? Did they put it somewhere else? So I'm like looking around. I'm like, oh, I look back again. Maybe they put it in this bin that I have in the front there. And I'm like, no, I didn't do that. So I remember that my mother-in-law was taking our dogs out over the weekend, and I was like, I messaged her. I was like, hey, did you happen to pick up a package? I was on the front porch. on Saturday or whatever. Doesn't respond. I'm like, ugh. So I call her, doesn't answer the phone. And like finally a little bit later, I message her husband. And I'm like, hey, if you see her, give me a call so I can find out what's going on here. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to report it stolen to Macari, I think is where I ended up buying it from. And so I ended up later. It's like, oh yeah, I picked that up. It's in my van. I'm like, you could have told me. You could have easily said, when you picked it up, hey, I have this.
Sit down in your van's car seat, pick up your phone, and tell me what you just did.
Yeah. So I picked it up. It was fine. So I was like, okay. So she brought it back over, and I was like, okay, great. So I opened it up. So I picked up another bad guy called Gripper.
Oh, wow.
And here he is. He's got a little eye patch and a beret, and a sassy beret. But he's got this robotic hand there. That's his gripper hand.
For gripping.
He's holding a machete. And then his action feature, if I move his arm back here. Ugh. Come on. So his little backpack thing here, you push a button and it's supposed to swing around and come around here. And he has 4 Uzis in a little shield thing. And each of those Uzis come out. They're like loose in there. But there's like a shielded Uzi, 4 Uzi thing. And then if 4 Uzis was enough, he has another Uzi on his leg, for funsies, I guess, just in case he needs another Uzi.
That may well be the most 80s toy I've ever seen.
Maybe ever.
It's the most Uzis ever. And then
a sword, just for good measure.
Yeah, another machete.
And robot hand.
And a robot hand, yeah.
Clamp champ with Uzis.
Yeah, exactly. So he's supposed to have a little pistol, which I didn't realize when I was buying it. I thought it was complete because he had like this other thing. I'm like, so I'm missing the pistol for that. But they sent another machete. He's only supposed to have 1 machete, but they sent 2. So I just put that one in there. So now he has 2 machetes, which is fine, I guess.
Feels like it's a crime that's not a spot for a 6th Uzi.
I know. It should be. It really should be. So yeah, then you just slide his arm. But yeah, it has like these are all made by Coleco, which really isn't a company anymore. And they made this for 1 year. Like they made 12 figures in this line. The next year, the line went to Argentina and to another company called Joska. And then they put out another wave 2 of figures, which are impossible to get. They're like $200 a figure because they're all overseas and they were barely made. But yeah, he does have a very squishy head though.
Oh.
So very 80s squishy head. I think the other guy, yeah, he does too. Very squishy. But yeah, this is Gripper with his 4 Uzi protected backpack. So a lot of the figures have these little backpacks, and you push a button and it spring loaded, supposed to come out around. Like the Firepower Rambo has a flamethrower that comes around.
Well, yeah.
Some guys have a shotgun that comes up. And other stuff. a lot of weird stuff.
80s kids toys.
Turbo has a little helmet that comes up and over. But yeah, like I said, these just really bring me back to the kid, and I don't know, they're just awesome. So I'm just trying to get some more.
So you never had these as a kid.
I never had these. I only ever had those 2, and it was just a weird. Like I got them for Christmas. Never saw them in stores really ever, and I do have I guess it's like an anti-aircraft gun as well. They made 12 figures.
That was my next question.
6 vehicles, a play set, and a bunch of guns, 50 millimeter anti-tank guns, anti-aircraft guns. There's 6 or 7 of those in boxes. And then they made weapons packs. They made they just blew their load in the first season. Wave 1, let's release everything. And so there's a lot of stuff. And there's each of these figures has 6, 7 accessories, feels like it. So just all the, especially so Gripper, he would have 5 Uzis, a pistol, a machete, and a backpack and belts. So you could lose technically all of that stuff. You know, if you had just a plain figure, he would have missing all of the stuff. So
Oh yeah.
it's kind of a nightmare trying to find complete ones, but it's kind of what I've been looking at in my free time, and eBay is just all of these figures. eBay and Macari, I'm like,
Fun.
yeah, it's just kind of like, and then I'm referencing another page on the internet to see what are they complete, what's missing. Okay, flip to this one. So it's just kind of been that, which has been fun for me to like try to
Yeah,
find
once
the
you got
cheapest
all the
price and-
He-Man toys, you're like, let's move on to something else.
I don't have all the He-Man
I
toys,
know.
but I
Thanks
don't
for
know, I'm just-
reminding him, Jason.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. God, dang.
I'm just on a Rambo kick right now, I guess.
That's so cool, man.
But I love them.
Awesome. All right, Turnip, what have you picked up lately?
Well, since I haven't been on the show recently,
It's all
I've
lately.
picked from the last few months, and as you everyone has been forcefully shown in the core chat, I've been hooked
Forcefully.
on McFarlane DC figures, but just the live action movie ones. Started with getting the Chris Reeve Superman. I'm like, well, but that's not enough. Got to get the Keaton Batman, and then if I'm going to get one Batman, I got to get the Bale Batman. If I'm going to get that Batman, I got to get the West Batman. And there were like 6 other Batmans sitting over across the room from me. So I'm just holding it, just the movie toys. But like getting the Chris Reeve Batman. Oh, I've looked at like the Mezco lines, the high end,
sure.
expensive figures. I'm like, those look great, but I'm not dropping $100 or more on a figure. And then, $25, Chris Reeve Superman comes out.
Oh,
I was like, well, I've got to get that, of course. Like, and then I get it in hand, and these stupid things feel like super premium, especially if you've messed with any Marvel Legends recently and how just soap bottle, like squishy plastic, they don't feel good. Like these feel like high-end toys. And I stick to some of the Goldie ones. They've got the wires and the capes. They've got cloth capes. So no, it's just been a whole lot of fun. And I've been posing Adam West Batman around my room trying to look tough. And so it's just been fantastic. And it's been interesting because I really have avoided just action figures, non-Transformers. And that's kind of brought me around, brought me back around, especially after some disappointing Marvel Legends. So that's been fun. Otherwise, I've got
what Batmans are you missing then?
yeah,
like Clooney.
I think I don't have the Clooney. I don't have the Kilmer like sonar suit, and I don't have Batfleck yet because I got into this well after like McFarlane loses the license next year, and so I'm getting in this at the tail end of that. So, and some of those just go for stupid prices for whatever reason I don't understand, but then, as Jason's well aware, I bemoan the state of the secondary market all the time, especially when it comes to Transformers. But no, it's been pretty eye-opening getting back into just the action figures. So
I've always known you as a Superman guy. So getting that Christopher Reeves, that makes me happy knowing how I imagine how happy it made you to fall in love with that thing.
I mean, all through the 80s, running through the house with a towel around my neck just because of that 78 Superman movie. So, but, well, obviously, speaking of the 80s, my other love, as you can see, Ghostbusters, Proton Pack on the wall. Currently working on a 80s real Ghostbusters cartoon series, Proton Pack. So, big into Ghostbusters. Just got a brand new Spirit Halloween Ghost Trap.
Nice.
So this one is a little smaller than the other Halloween one. It's closer to actual scale to the Proton or the Ghost Trap from the movie. This one actually comes with a pedal. The other ones didn't come with a pedal. And one of the neat things is, since I'm big into 3D printing,
so you had to have modded it by now, right?
So modded it. You hit the pedal, starts the sequence. Opens up. Nice lights and sounds. But originally, that's just a green gel film in there. So I went ahead and it's like, well, I can't have that. So I 3D printed this grate to go in there.
Nice.
Make it look a little better. 3D printed a hook to go so it can go on the belt. Painted up the wheels. So I'm never happy just leaving my prop toys toys alone. So,
Sure.
and will be nice because I've done quite a few conventions with the whole flight suit proton pack and everything. And the old Ghost Trap was just so big and bulky on wearing it on your waist. It made it kind of hard to sit down after walking for a few hours. So it's definitely nice to get something a little slimmer, a little trimmer, a little easier to carry around. So, but otherwise, recently, well, in the last few months, so obviously Transformers has always been big for me, all the way from begging my mom for Optimus Prime or a Megatron at the Ben Franklin down the street, which she refused to buy me the gun. She wanted to buy me Starscream that day, but she wasn't going to buy me the gun. But going into the late 80s, early 90s, I saw the Power Master Optimus Prime and just blew my mind seeing that, but could never find the toy, never got it for Christmas, never knew anyone that had it. So it was kind of a grail. Wound up getting reissues years later. Well, Takara, within the last few months, released their God Genrai masterpiece, MPG line, which is, Genrai is what they named Power Master in Japan. And it just has everything I'd want in that. Does the full small robot to super robot, all the weapons, just a super great transformation. Love the colors. I generally tend to stay away from Masterpiece just because of the costs, the ridiculous cost. But even though this went up for, high $200, almost $300 for the full set with the trailer, this is one I had to jump on. I could not leave this.
The best version of your favorite character.
Exactly. Sure. So it is like just got super good articulation. Those ratchets. Those ratchets. How good are those? All the weapons, all the modes. Little Power Master comes out. Just it's the perfect version. That's why I don't think we've got Omega Prime just came out with HasLab. So they can do Optimus Primes. I don't think they're going to do a HasLab Power Master Prime because that's basically what this is.
Yeah.
Because generally speaking, it's not what I remember the masterpieces I've touched to be, like high end. This just feels like a denser Generations figure, and so it's just ticks all the boxes, hits all the buttons. It's just exactly what I want on there. So,
think you'll get the God Bomber, or just going to leave it at?
I'm not sure. I'm on the fence yet because. Yeah, I got it because I got the Japanese reissue in the early 2000s. Obviously, the Apex armor came with the U.S. reissue, for Power Master Prime, but it wasn't in the States when I was a kid, so I could kind of take it or leave it.
That nostalgia is not there for you,
right? So, but yeah, that's some examples, kind of the big stuff I got lately. Jason, you and I were talking earlier. The new Generations and Studio Series Transformers this year have just been hitting on all cylinders. So if I went through each one of those, we'd be here for an hour. So just doing that. For sure.
That's good times. That's it makes me so happy to hear you say all those words you just said. That's good. Well, all right. Well, I'll go next. I had just went out on the town this weekend. I went up to Cedar Rapids. Friend of the show, Justin Beam, had a book signing, and we used that as an excuse to go up to Cedar Rapids for the weekend and paint the town. And so, okay, I got my lovely assistant handing me random toys over here from our excursion. Up first, I was kind of talking with you guys before we hit record. Turtle Power Games in Lindale Mall. Was just a kind of a random stop. We went to the mall for, I think, something else. Nose ring thing. It was a to do, but we stopped by Turtle Power Games. I had never been there, and I'm like, is it a gaming store? I'm like, whatever. We went in, and there's toys there.
Yes, there are.
And Elgin has been there before. I had not, and it is like to be honest, Turnip, it's like Spuds in a way. Like it's it feels like a dirty antique store, like in the front half on like shelves that have been repurposed from somebody's basement. And then like a rope halfway through the store blocking it off because in the back there's a gaming section,
Yep.
just where all the stinky kids go
Yep.
to play games. And
To play
and
Magic.
they had older toys, which was
Yeah.
neat to see, but they also had terrible prices on everything. They had a whole shelf of just McDonald's Transformers, and they wanted $5 to $10 a piece for them, and I'm just like,
Oh.
get the F out of here, you turds. And then it was a store run by nerds, so there was no customer service because that meant you'd have to talk to some stranger, and
Right.
it wasn't. Didn't love it. Didn't love that part. Yeah. In the chat, we got Just Tiffany says even one said $14.99 for a shitty Megatron. It was not a. Anyway, I'm trying. We're looking around. We got the kids there. We're digging through stuff. They have little bins, like this little spinny bin level thing that they just put the super cheap stuff in, and it's just junk. But I find something in there, and that must have been the one thing that the price tag had fallen off of. And I go up, and just the guy was impossible to talk to. Tiffany tried asking, what price is this? And he's like, well, it says on it. And it's like, well, I wouldn't be up here asking you if it had a price on it, would I? And he's like, oh, it's this or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I don't think she wanted to buy it just so that to reward him in any way. But I'm like, I still kind of want it. So I apparently collect Pez dispensers. And this glow-in-the-dark little vampire dude was in there.
Cool.
And he is cool. And he will focus.
Maybe.
Oh, did I set my focus? Yeah. There he goes. But it's glow-in-the-dark. Elgin's favorite color.
Exactly.
Which is neat. So no Pez in there for you, Elgin. Sorry. But
that's probably be extra if it had Pez in it.
But yeah, just a neat little thing I do. I pretend every time I act surprised, Tiffany says in the chat, always act surprised that you collect them. Everyone knows that you do. I know, but it's one of those.
I can't believe I collect all this stuff.
I know. And I don't know. This isn't something it's embarrassing still. I don't know. But I got, a dozen. I don't know. I must still be because I'm still saying that. Next. We can start on the far. So we went to everybody's favorite, Ollie's.
Oh, yeah.
We love Ollie's. And most of the time, Ollie's has the same 3 Beast Wars figures in 1,000 of each, and that's all you have for Transformers.
Yeah.
I see everyone on the internet getting luck with things. But anyway, I kind of wanted to get this guy one of the last times I was there, but the price was good and the card was nice. And Tiffany asked, why the hell are you getting that? I mean, that was verbatim. That was a recording of her saying, why the hell are you getting that? And I'm going to say, well, because I've met this guy in person and this is freaking cool. And woo, that's right. Got Ric Flair, Nature Boy himself.
And one of the 1,000 of Ric Flairs that are at Ollie's.
Yes, there's also 1,000 of these bad boys, but $3.99. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's a good deal.
Come on, I know. Look, we can cut promos all night long. He's got his microphone right there. We'll be styling and profiling. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, enough of that.
Is that its action features, styling and profiling?
Yeah, it should be, right?
It says on the back, I think, the card.
Okay, but then I did find some Transformers. I may or may not already have these. But they're G1s, and I never find them ever, and it was just a good price. Here's Perceptor. I'm excited to have him so I can have him.
Ollie's?
This was at Ollie's. $9.99.
Oh, dang.
I know. That's what I mean. Like, I couldn't.
You got to buy it. You got to buy it.
Thank you. Whether I had it or not. No, she's furiously typing.
$10 in box. You got to.
Yeah.
$10 in box. It's, the old...
Yeah, I think I went down to the Kirksville Ollie's and
she said, excited to have it again.
Yeah,
I am very excited. Now I can have them.
I think I saw that down in Kirksville as well. Like they had a bunch of those, like
$10
Down
for a
there.
G1 die cast. Oh man, excited to have it.
Again.
And I got another one there too. And he's an easy one. I already army build this guy and have plenty of extras of these, but there was a kickback as well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. G1 kickback.
They do have a lot of Star Wars and Marvel there.
God dang, they do. They
So
sure
many.
do. Okay. Then we were at Hot Topic while we were in that mall, and
Nose ring.
getting a nose ring. Yeah, it was a whole thing. We can't talk. It was a debacle. Things broke, falling apart. It was an emergency. Anyway, one of their Hot Topic deals was buy a bunch of these, you get a bunch of this, and so we got some extra this. There were some blind bags, like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Blind bags. They had some Rise of the Beast blind bags, and they basically ended up being free because of this sweet deal. And Tiffany got some. That's right. There she says clearance was buy 2 get 3 free.
Hey, that's deal. That's Belgiumonics 101 right there.
So I got 2 blind bags, and Grayson got 1, and we both got an exclusive. Anyway, this isn't one, but Air Razor. This neat come in the.
Keychain?
Yep. So it's a little keychain one.
Back
but
up, I guess.
They had a few. Oh yeah, they had a few that are in their beast mode, which is neat. They had several that were in their robot mode, but
Cool.
Nice to have her.
You could make like a totem pole with that.
Kind of could. And then the exclusive one I got, the Scourge. Pretty neat.
That's adorable.
Isn't he though? Murderous bastard. Big old meanie head. That's right. But yeah, pretty neat.
Cool.
Yeah, super cool. Okay. Last thing. I'm excited because Turnip's on the show, and he even mentioned the show that this is from. We also stopped by the Toy Lair. That's Artie's store on First Ave in Cedar Rapids. Definitely go there if you can. Toy Lair. And
You need to.
you do.
It's a good store.
It's one of the smallest stores I've ever been in, but man, he packs it full of every IP. I mean, he's got everything in there.
Yeah.
Most of the Transformer stuff I had, that's just how it goes. But then I saw this little guy up on top on this top shelf. I guess he was on sale because he had a little sticker on it, but some things don't. Anyway, so I reached up and I'm like, oh, that's cute, and put it back, and then walked around trying to find some Transformer-y stuff. But then I couldn't, and I was like, well, I got to get that cute little guy. He's so adorable. And from 1987, Kenner's Real Ghostbusters, I got one of the Mini Goopers, Brain Matter.
Oh, that's cool.
See? I know.
Yeah. That's awesome.
How do you not pick this guy up? What was he? $12. And so he moves his head, it turns and stuff. That's neat, right? He's translucent. And we were kind of looking him up beforehand. I was messing with him in the car, and I was like, oh, it popped apart. And because he comes originally on card with some goop.
Some slime.
And so some slimy goop stuff goes in there. This is disgusting. That needs washed out. But anyway, I think he came in a 2-pack with a stomach guy. I forgot to write down that other Mini Gooper's name, but it was like a stomach that was my assistant remembered. It's called Stomach Stuff. Yeah. It was like a
Stomach
pink
Steve.
Pumpkin or a pink thing with little spikies all over him.
Okay.
Yeah, translucent blue little guy. So it's still
comes out of his mouth, I guess.
No, I don't. Well, I don't.
I think you just separate them and then it kind of slides out.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have any real Ghostbuster stuff, so that's cool. All right. Can you really Turnip? Let me get this back over here to. Nope, that's not it. This. Do that. So yeah, Turnip. It was always, you caught me off guard when you first said it, you're just like, I don't know, I might be done. And I'm like, you're one of the longest running toy collectors friends I have.
Yeah.
What
Well, heck,
do
I
You can't
I
quit. Can't quit
think I
on
got
time.
you back into collecting back in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'd
you
already been
sure helped.
collecting for a few years.
So obviously there's a lot of reasons, why a person could. Do you want to talk about what you went through? And
Yeah. So it's important to remember it's like I may have hit that point where I said I was done or I was burnt out, but that doesn't happen all at once. It's a series of events that hits that one day you realize like, all right, yeah, I'm burnt out. But excuse me, there are those steps that get you there. One of the big things was because I'd been collecting for so long, I had a ton of Transformers, so hundreds of Transformers, and 2/3 of them spent more than a decade in tubs in my basement. And so realizing that these things, if they didn't have existed, I wouldn't have known the difference because they were just down there and they're tubs I passed on the way to the laundry room. So that kind of was a big thing. And then also I hit a point where, Transformers been around since 84, been around decades, and we've been lucky in the Transformers brand that it's continued to survive. It's continued to iterate, evolve, change. Whereas like He-Man or G.I. Joe or any number of other toy lines go on hiatus for long stretches of time. Transformers is really always there. And the flip side of that is one day you have 60 Optimus Primes and another one's coming, and how many you realize like how many of these things do I need, and you realize 90% of them are in those aforementioned tubs. So, and then we have we went through in the mid 2010s like the price increases where the kind of entry level price point had been $10 for 20 years and went to within pretty rapid succession went to 15, then to 20. The quality, while they were getting smaller, the quality went down for a little while. It's rebounded nicely now. The prices haven't, but the quality certainly has. I hit the point where I just wasn't enjoying the toys anymore. It started to feel like work. It started to feel like a chore. I was getting the entire wave every time it came out just because I felt like I had to, because I'm a Transformers collector. That's what I do. If I'm not doing that, then how do I define myself? What am I?
Sure.
And so, I kind of hit that point where I knew what I was feeling, but I knew I still liked Transformers at some level. And so I really had to sit down and figure out what I was feeling and why. I kind of came up with what I call the collection life cycle or collecting life cycle. It's kind of it followed along with like your steps of grief or acceptance or what have you, just trying to help me understand the whole from your discovery and infatuation, or you got to have everything, all the way through to disillusionment, and finally kind of come around to what I described as synthesis, which was distilling it down to the core, finding that core that I actually still really enjoyed with the Transformers brand, and focusing on that to kind of help find something that I still enjoyed about it. And part of that was letting go a lot of that. Like, look around Jason's room. He's got a lot of those Transformers that were in tubs for decades, and they've gone to a home where someone can display them. So, and then finding other outlets. I got big into building stuff. During the pandemic, I built an arcade cabinet. I built that proton pack, that power sword, that pulse rifle. So, just finding other outlets to replace kind of what I lost with the Transformers collecting. So, but I mean, still got a ton of them there. I found what I liked, so I continue in my own way.
Sure.
Yeah.
But,
Yes, I guess.
Well,
I know.
Jason.
No, I know.
It's fine about finding that dopamine hit. Either you get the new toy and feel good for a little bit, or you take 6 months to build a proton pack and get to experience that the whole time. So it's just kind of figuring out where you want to focus your time. So that's kind of
but-
that was kind of my
yeah.
journey.
But you haven't completely abandoned toys.
No, and I'm not likely
showing
to.
with like your DC stuff that you just picked up as well. Batman and
Right.
Superman.
Keeping it controlled, keeping it to fitting in one small tub.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
and it's a clear tub, so I can see them.
You can wave
It's
to them
a
as you walk down.
loophole in the-
Yeah, they can-
Yeah,
Well,
well,
whenever-
and some people literally cold turkey. That's it, to the
Yeah,
pawn shop or
yeah.
whatever.
When
toy
I was
store.
thinking of burnout, like when we were talking about this topic, I was like, well, the only thing I could relate it to was my old job that I left after 15 years. Like I was literally burnt out from that job to the point of like I would wake up every morning, my alarm went off at like 5:30 and be like, do I even want to go into work today? Like, does it even matter? Like that to me is burnout. Like that is like you don't care. You don't if you show up to work, it doesn't
Going
matter.
through the motions.
Yeah.
Like you're just there. You know you're barely there. Just quiet quitting basically.
Yeah.
But to me, that's what true burnout is. Is like it's glad to see that you still love toys and stuff and still want to collect some stuff and make stuff and still in the hobby itself instead of just like completely void of everything and just like I'm no longer and I'm out.
Well, I think when you're a collector, for as long as I have or into anything, you in a way, even if you don't try, you kind of define yourself around what you collect. And then when how you actually are suddenly doesn't match the way you've defined yourself for so long, it's kind of that disconnect is where I kind of felt the feelings of burnout were for me, where, I no longer wanted to be this intense Transformers collector. And yet here, hundreds of Transformers sat showing me that I had been. So what do you do with that? And again, I gave Jason a good deal on Transformers. That was my therapy. That was you were helping me, Jason.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome.
Get rid of that, not carry that albatross around my neck anymore. And so, of course, I still love toys. It's just less defining myself by these plastic items I have sitting on a shelf and more by the act of building or finding that individual core of what I like. So,
Sure. What are other ways you think toy collectors can burn out?
Well, again, I go back to it. It's a lot of the disconnect between perceived, I think, personality or definition of yourself and reality, or we've all seen those people that go way too hard into it, that completely subsume themselves in a hobby. A buddy of mine, Ben, used to work for a comic shop and would always tell me about having to talk to the customers where Wolverine was a personality trait. and that's kind of how they define themselves. And so having nothing outside of that. So finding those areas where it's kind of, you don't have anything else going on, you don't have other hobbies, other things where it's 24/7, 365, that one hobby or that one collection, whereas Elgin, see your dollar buys, which is 5-point figures for $1, pretty good price. So I'll have to go check out the clearance aisle.
No kidding.
But either finding you've got other outlets that aren't just He-Man or Masters of the Universe.
I have a bunch of other lines that I collect with wrestling and with Turtles, Ninja Turtles, and other stuff like that. But talking about defining yourself with toys, I kind of saw that during the pandemic with music, especially, Jason and I have been playing music, at least going out on tour, doing shows and stuff, and the pandemic hits and you can't go anywhere. And to me, I almost was like, okay, well, if I'm done with music, I guess I'm done. It was like that point of like burnout of that, of like, and then when we could do shows again, it's like, well, do I even want to? Like, there was this whole period of like, do I even want to do? I wasn't, and I was fine.
Right.
Because you think like before, you're like, oh, I'm not going to be fine not playing music. And then they're like, well,
to equate it to work, we were fired. for a few years there.
Yeah, basically.
And I was like, oh, do we want to go back to
Do
that
we
job?
even want to? And
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
I mean, we have other stuff we can do. We have other hobbies we could do. It didn't define us as that. We still love it, but it's like, it's for me anyway. It was like, if I don't play another show, am I going to be happy with that? Same with if I don't collect another toy, am I going to be happy with that? You have to, think about those things too when you're a collector.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just one of those things where your priorities shift over the time. You get older,
Sure.
hitting the mid 40s, and man, that's 25, 26, 27 years is a long time to be really focused in on one thing. So
Sure.
But and it's not, again, like I said, it's not like I've quit collecting it entirely. I mean, I may have built that, but putting that together was worth several waves of Transformers.
Sure.
It's not just because I built it doesn't mean that it's cheap, but
Sure.
but then also focusing on what I like about the hobby means that the stuff I do enjoy feels that much better. It's not getting buried under the baggage of everything else. We're talking about the latest this year's waves of Transformers that have hit have just been outstanding, and I feel like I can enjoy them because I've let go of everything else that was weighing me down about the hobby. For a while there'd be entire waves where I'd buy it because I felt I had to, and then as soon as I open them, they go in a bin because I don't really care about them. I bought them just because I was a Transformers collector. What do I do if I'm not collecting Transformers? So
Right.
I can see it like in a quicksand kind of way. As a collector, you can start picking up toys and you see it grow and you grow. And then at some point you're like, do I start a spreadsheet to keep track of all the pre-orders when they drop, when I order them? When it's coming? It's like, this really does turn into work.
Right.
You got to really work at it. And like, do I set alarms for shit? Because what do I, so I can see it snowballing into like consuming.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's like any potential addiction where, it just, you do it because you feel like you have to, not because you enjoy it anymore. And so just, hitting that inflection point, that burnout moment really helped me kind of separate at my toy collecting rock bottom, if you will, and to be able to move on to it and still enjoy what I do to this day and in a way that I can continue to enjoy it. So, but you get older, I've got a house, I've got a kid, I've got responsibilities. So
time and space, like where do you put these toys? Where do you have time to open and play with them? You just buying them to buy them?
After a full day of work, 9:30 bedtime comes off early, so you gotta.
It does, unfortunately.
You only have so much time for toys, and
so it's important to define what you love about it, for sure. Well, any other?
Have you felt any burnout, Jason?
Oh, not for a split second. That's why I was so shocked to hear the call. I was like, "Wait, that's a thing? I didn't even know that was a thing." What? Because I'm in middle snowball here. I'm just more. Give me all the toys.
Well, and you mentioned
Let me
that
buy this toy again.
I just talked about I put together that collecting life cycle. Had like 7 steps. You've got your discovery and infatuation. That's step 1 where you just start getting into it. Like, oh, this thing is awesome. You start learning about it. Step 2, you kind of get an intense focus and greater understanding. You're on the boards, you're in the groups, you're learning about it. You can kind of see the end, but it's still so new and fresh. And then you kind of get to the maturation stage where the ins and outs of the hobby. You know what you like, you know what you have, you know what you don't have, unfortunately, and aren't likely to get. You go into kind of the disillusionment, was where I was kind of that disconnect between who you think you are and who you actually are, and your enjoyment there. You hit your crisis point. And then you kind of hit that split of what I was talking earlier. It's like you either rediscover what you liked about it, or like Elgin said, you go cold turkey and abandon it. And then hopefully you come out with step 7 where you still find what you like and go in a new way that doesn't cause you any internal disconnect. So
I think that life cycle is definitely real for sure. What about you, Elge?
Yeah.
Where do you find yourself?
I'm still enjoying collecting. I still
Smack
enjoy
dab in the middle.
the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
going into retail stores and looking for clearance stuff. Like that's fun. That's still fun for me to like see if there's anything there. And like I said, looking on eBay and for these Rambo figures is a new thing as well. It's like that's fun as well. So it's still I still wait when the Mattel Creations drops. Then they do drops. I'm first in line for that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm to pounce on it. And it's like, I'm still in it to win it.
I just know me and my personality, and it's like I really don't see me ever growing up. I don't know. Am I ever going to be serious about anything? I don't know. Like, it's just fun. I don't know.
Sounds like you need to buy a house.
Forget it.
Come remodel my basement with me.
Oh, I'll help you, but all right. Well, any last nuggets? We're going to move on.
No, as I said, just find what you love with it and stick to that, and don't be afraid of change.
Sure.
Yeah. It's really collect what you love, regardless of what people say. Like
because it's fun.
Because if you enjoy it, that's what's important. At the end of the day,
find what you love.
If you enjoy it, who cares what anyone else says? Whether it's Pez dispensers or anything else. If you love it, then collect it. I guess he collects them.
So here's a question for the room. Do you tell the normals that you collect? That's always something fascinating to talk about. Because
it's hard.
I'm not ashamed of what I collect. I just don't want to deal with the hassle of having to explain it to their satisfaction why I do it.
Elgin just recently had coworkers. I listen to podcasts, and Elgin's like, "Oh yeah." And he's like,
that was an interesting conversation because my other coworkers, I work in compliance at Community First, the HQ building, and my other compliance teammates were like, they're all other women, and one of them was like, "Hey, I just want to listen to a new podcast. Do you have any suggestions?" I'm like, "Oh well, actually, I have a podcast called Cracktastic Plastic." And she's like, "Well, what's it about?" I'm like, "It's about toy collecting and stuff like that." It's like, I just like true crime podcasts.
Every job I've had, I've tried. I'm not ashamed either. It's half of the fun seeing them try to figure out how they may have taken me seriously until that point, and they're like, "Wait, what?
Yeah,
you do what? How
old
are you?"
That was one of the kind of perks of my other job at the blood center. The other guy I worked with was also a collector.
That worked out.
And he we did unboxings at work on some days. Like he'd bring in Ghostbuster stuff, and we just do He's like, "Hey, you want to do unboxing with this?" I'm like, content. Why not? Who cares if we're at work? They didn't fire me.
Yeah, you got to keep talking about it because you want to find more people like you.
Exactly. Yeah. If it comes up, I'll talk about it. It doesn't really come up a lot.
Yeah,
no. But I'll talk to whoever wants to talk about it if they want to start talking.
That's right. All right. Well, let's take a quick little break. We're going to tell you about our podcast network, the PFPN. It's home to lots of awesome podcast content. No true crime. I'm just kidding. There's probably some in there. Check it out, the PFPN. This nice lady's going to tell you all about it.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
Like the Earbuds podcast. They're really awesome. Joey and Landon, they're two hilarious dudes who've done several podcasts on the network. This particular show they're doing, they break down music. They talk about music, and they're two of the funniest guys on the planet. So, and it's always improv with them. So, any show that you see them on, check them out. That's the Earbuds. All right. Definitely want to mention those guys. We thought we saw Joey this weekend. He ran away before we could say hi. Anyway, I didn't need to say that. We're going to go to the place where Elgin tells us about a store, and it's called Store Tour. Oh my God.
All right, today's store is called Toy Go Round at 1361 Solano Avenue in Albany, California. That's right. It's just a short trip of 27 hours from Ottumwa.
Oh,
And about, if you're already in California, of course, it's only 21 minutes from Oakland, California, and 24 minutes from San Francisco across the bay there. It has a bunch of Motu, Barbie, Voltron, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, comic books, regular books. Some people like those. Shogun Warriors, and much, much more. But did you know that the Albany sauna is one of the oldest Finnish-style saunas open to the public in North America? Built in 1934 by Finnish-American Henry Walter Lundgren, a founding member of the Finnish Lodge in West Berkeley. The original furnace and rooms have been maintained. So go to Albany for a sauna, then go over to Toy Go Round at 1361 Solano Avenue, Albany, California.
Awesome. Let's go. Just a short little trip.
Just 27 hours. I looked it up on Google Maps and it said 1 day and
They were
3
like,
hours.
"Really?"
I was like, whoa, that's a ways.
Wow. All right. Before we go today, just want to remind everyone, if you want to help support the show, that'd be cool. We'd let you. That'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
One of the
definitely.
ways you can do that is tell a friend. Be like, hey, friend, when you're at work and you're talking about true crime podcasts, you can mention it.
Hello, friend.
Or Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review. Super helpful. We love algorithm stuff while you're hitting that like button down there. But the best way to do it, like Elgin mentioned at the top of the show, is to enlist in the core. If you enlist in thecore.com, that's basically our Patreon. You get lots of cool perks like bonus episodes, shout outs on the show, early access to videos, and you get to be in an exclusive chat with Elgin, Turnip, and I, and all the core members. It's a lot of fun. Or if you're more of a YouTube person, right down there, hit that join button. Same thing, same perks. It's pretty cool. Check it out. But like I said, one of those perks is shout outs on the show. So we're going to do that. And it's weird because one of them's here. So we're going to do it anyway. We got Tony Miller, Alex LaForest, Bill Fisher, Colin Bunn, Chris DeMonico, and of course, Chris Turnip Simmons. He's right there. He's right there.
There he is, right there.
It's one of the new perks, getting to be on the show. I'm just kidding.
Hey, if they want to be on the show, why not?
I know. Well, so thank all you core members. We really appreciate it. And Chris, can you vouch for this chat being fun? It's so much fun.
It's pretty fantastic. You know, again, we were talking about how hard it is to find like-minded people. Well, there's a whole chat full of them that you can just share your stupid, brooding Adam West Batman pictures.
Exactly.
So.
Well,
Heck
like
yeah.
Adam Wee.
All right, let's get out of here. Thank you guys so much. Just remember to define what you love, and it's okay. It's all going to be okay. This is supposed to be fun, so have fun.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, well, we'll talk to you guys later. Keep being awesome out there. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Cracktastic Plastic Podcast. But not so fast, my foul fiends. Don't forget to follow these fools on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And visit cracktasticplastic.com. I'll be back.